Hello everyone, and welcome to Shell Point Today for Monday, December 21st. I'm Dan Filgreen. On today's show, Hannah Hosterman will visit with Heather Battey to talk about the Balance and Mobility Level 1 class. And Melody Desilets will give us a preview of Friday's Christmas Cantata with Ted and Ruth Rogers. But first, don't forget about tonight's opportunity to have some delicious prime rib at the Pewter Mug in North Naples. They're famous for having the perfect prime rib dinner, as well as plenty of non-beef offerings and salads. The cost of the outing is $8 with dinner on your own, and court pickups begin at 4 p.m. on the island this evening, so make sure you're signed up. If you require assistance with walking, such as with the use of a cane, a walker, or walking sticks, then there's a balance and mobility class just for you to help you build strength and get around better every day. This class can help you use your assistant device less or walk with it more carefully and independently. Here's Hannah to talk about the class.
Hi, I'm Heather Battey from Resort Services, and today I'm here with one of our certified personal trainers and fitness coordinators, Hannah Hosterman. She's been with Shell Point now for about 3 months, and she's exciting 2 new programs that we've revamped. The first one that we're going to be talking about today is Balance and Mobility for Beginners. Hi, Hannah.
Hello.
So can you tell me why we decided to change the name from Balance and Mobility Level 1 to Beginner?
Sure. I felt like the program was kind of combined with different levels of balance. So I kind of just wanted to put beginners of balance and begin them with balance level 1, and maybe put the more advanced people that maybe aren't using walkers, that get around, okay, but they're just kind of concerned with their mobility, to the advanced, which would be balance level 2 advanced.
Okay. So with this class in particular, you are now saying that you could have this class be more for those with an assistant device as far as walking? Okay.
Yeah, so we'll start the class with I like to always start with a little bit of weights and work on posture. So we'll work on some shoulder and back exercises, and then I get the group to stand up, and we do a little bit of floor work with their, walking devices. And we just focus on posture and proper foot alignment and walking alignment and their gait in general.
Perfect. Because once you add one of those walking, assistance devices, your walk and your gait changes.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And so you will work with the residents on kind of remedying that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, I understand you have quite a bit of experience working with balance and mobility in the senior population.
Yeah, I do. I worked for about 1.5 years at a rehab center up north, and the population I worked with was seniors, and I've kind of been all over the board with it, but a lot of it was more pre and post rehab. So I had balance issues, pre and post knee replacement, hip replacement. So I feel confident in working with them as far as posture and balance goes, and seeing their gait and noticing what needs work.
Right. Will you be working on, say, getting up and down, like out of a chair, or
yeah,
those
the
kind
proper
of things?
way to get up and out of a chair. A lot of people tend to lean forward, putting a lot of pressure on their back. So maybe if there's armrest, learning how to use the armrest and really strengthening those leg and glute muscles so they can stand straight up versus bending over to stand up.
Right. Now, because we'll be buying, basically, it's a cost of $120 for these 12 weeks. Will it be a progressive class? Will you keep on adding and advancing as they go through the class?
Yeah, I like to advance usually around every 2 weeks. So whether that's weight, whether that's more steps added to the class, like more walking time or more standing time, or just more reps added to each exercise, I like to see a progression every 2 weeks.
Great. Well, it definitely sounds like a class for a lot of our population. So if you're interested in this balance and mobility beginner class, and that's going to be Mondays and Wednesdays at 1:45 at the Island Health Club. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Every Christmas, a special cantata is held at the Resident Activity Center. It's a 20-year tradition that residents Ted and Ruth Rogers are devoted to all throughout the year, as they write and put together this wonderful presentation to enjoy on Christmas Day. Melody Desilets visited with the lovely couple and got a first-hand interview and performance.
heard the bells on Christmas Day their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
I thought how, as the day had come, the belfries of all Christendom had rolled along the unbroken song of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
And in despair I bowed my head. There is no peace on earth, I said, for hate is strong and mocks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Then pealed the bells more loud and deep. God is not dead, nor doth he sleep. The wrong shall fail, the right prevail. With peace on earth, goodwill to men.
What you just heard was a beautiful rendition of what's to come for the 20th annual Christmas Cantata. That was done by Dr. Ted and Ruth Rogers of Palm Acres, and they're joining me today to celebrate this Christmas season. Now, I understand your cantata this year, this original cantata, is entitled Peace on Earth. Ruth, what was your inspiration behind this?
Early in January after Christmas last year, I was walking along the island as I do every morning, and suddenly the inspiration came through the words that are found in the book of Luke. Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men. I said, that's it. Came home and started. And from there on, the peace on earth was the main theme of my whole existence from then until now.
So you said January, we're in December, so it takes an entire year
Absolutely.
to put this cantata together. Can you give us a little backstory what that actually means?
That means that I write the original. Ted takes it and he writes it so that you could read it, because you could never read what I'm writing. They're just tracks. But then we put it together when the inspiration comes for the prose as well as the music. And that is what we work on periodically all year long, with about 2 months of a sort of a stop gap, because we have a little vacation there. And then we take it up again and we give it a real attack, so that we make sure that we have all the little incidentals cleared away. Of course, we always don't, but we work on it until it's where we feel that it's ready to go.
Excellent. So Ted, what would you say the amount of hours is that you two put forth together for this cantata?
Probably several hundred hours a year.
Absolutely.
That is amazing. As a volunteer coordinator, I appreciate those hours very much. So you invite instrumentalists and singers
Absolutely.
from our community to join together to start rehearsals in November for
Yes.
this original cantata.
I have certain people in mind when I'm writing the different script, for instance, Mary and Joseph. And this year I had an incident happen that the people that were slated to do it could not do it. And we're ready to rehearse. We get a phone call, and here another couple on their very own said, we sing, could we do something in your cantata? I said, you are my Mary and Joseph, because I learned they could do a duet. And so that's how the whole thing was put together. I don't know how many changes were made, not by me, but that's what has happened in this cantata. It's really very strange, but interesting, and I approve.
It sounds like it's divinely inspired.
Absolutely.
So that leads me to the question, how did you start this cantata? What's your background prior to coming to Shell Point?
Very young in life, I played piano, and I've continued with piano, but then vocal came along, and I decided vocal was number one. But then I became a missionary for Mission Aviation in Honduras, and we had quite a number of missionaries there, and we had inspiration to go ahead with some cantatas because they needed something for Christmas, and they had nothing, and I thought, what am I going to write? How am I going to write? And would you believe that was the first of my cantatas? Then my first husband, Paul, had a plane crash, and that was the end of our experience in Honduras because I couldn't fly. and I couldn't be a mechanic. So I came back to the States. And then very suddenly, something happened in Ted's life. His wife was taken, and his mother wrote to me and said, our Ted has lost his wife. Maybe you could help him with your experience. Well, I've been helping him ever since because we realized that we could make a team. And he was an orthopedic surgeon, and so my time was free to do a lot that I like to do in music. And so cantatas have been the thing in my life basically for many, many years. Coming to Shell Point, the first Christmas there was nothing that inspired me for Christmas. So I thought, next year we'll have something. And so that's how it began.
And the rest is history.
But
So-
we are a team together. I mean, without Ted, I couldn't do it, and he couldn't do it without me. So there we have the whole package.
Well, what a beautiful relationship you two have. You make a dynamic duo, and you also bring such a worthwhile volunteer effort to this community to share the gifts and talents that God has given you both. So we thank you so much for turning your passion into something the whole community and their friends and family can enjoy. So Shell Point, you have an opportunity to join in this Christmas festivities. It's going to take place on Friday, December 25th at 4:15 right here in the Resident Activity Center on the island. Please be sure to dress for Christmas, come expecting a wonderful inspiration, and join us together as we celebrate. Light refreshments will be served following the cantata. Thank you so much to the both of you for all that you do for our community, and thank you, Shell Point, for joining us.
And now it's time to look at today's happenings, menus, and Village Church connections.
During this Christmas week, take advantage of the opportunity to enjoy a special Christmas encore performance of Listening to the Words. First on this week's program is the telling of the Dylan Thomas classic, A Child's Christmas in Wales. This recording from 50 years ago is made special by musical underscoring provided by my friend Tom Gager. One of America's most enduring symbols is the Christmas tree, and one of our important national symbols is the White House. They come together in a story titled FDR's Christmas Tree. That's followed by a classic World War I story, Christmas in the Trenches. And for the first time, I've added a new story to an Encore Listening to the Words program. In fact, it's an old story about giving, written by a Shell Point resident. I'm David Howenstein, reminding you that this 30-minute program repeats every half hour all 7 days this week. A new week-long program begins each Monday. A thoughtful and joyful Christmas to you and yours.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Happenings segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chandley and this is Caitlin Van Scoy, and we're going to go over the activities that we offer for you here today at Shell Point. We're going to begin lineup at 8 o'clock with men's match play tennis at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. And we'll have virtual bowling in the Activities Center at 8:45. At 9 o'clock there's badminton, that's down at the game court, which is also known as the pickleball court. At 9:15, billiards is played at the Resident Activity Center. The Lollygaggers paddlers will be meeting at the Kayak storage and departing at 9:15 for their weekly trip. Also at 9:15, the Pottery, with instruction available, will be down in the tunnel at the Pottery studio. Men's match play tennis will be at 10 o'clock. Also at 10 o'clock, the Suzy Q boat heads to Matanzas on the Bay. You do need to sign up for those Suzy Q trips. At 10:30, the Disciple Men's Bible Study Group will be in the game room of the Woodlands. Moving on to 10:45, we have table tennis. This is a playing clinic in the Tarpon room on the island. And our last activity for the morning is a Health Connections class. This one is 11:30, Agility and Flexibility. That's in the health club. It's currently full. Now here's Caitlin for the afternoon lineup.
Thank you, Bev. We start at 12 o'clock with Mahjong in the Sabal room at the Woodlands. And at 1:15, advanced table tennis will be held in the Tarpon room on the island. Samba, the card game, will be in the Resident Activity Center at 1:15. And our last 1:15 activity is Tone Chimes. That's in the Osprey room on the island. The model train room will be open from 1:30 to 3:30. That'll be in the train room down in the island tunnel. At 1:45, we have a Health Connections class, Balance and Mobility Training for Beginners. That's in the Health Club on the island, and that one is currently closed. At 2 o'clock, the Beady-Eyed Bead Club will be in the Oak Room of the Woodlands. And Journey Through Grief will be held in the Chapel of the Village Church at 2:45. We move to 3 o'clock for another Health Connections class, Pilates Stretch, in the Health Club on the island. And we're dining out. Leaving at 4 o'clock, it's the Pewter Mug. Island pickups begin at 4 o'clock, 4:10 Woodlands, 4:20 Eagles Preserve, and Estuary. You do need to sign up for that trip. At 5 o'clock, the singles table is available at the Crystal Dining Room. And at 6:30, beginners square dancing will be held in the Health Club on the island. Also at 6:30, duplicate bridge will be held in the game room of the Woodlands. At 7:30, the Holiday Pops concert will be at the Village Church. You do need a ticket for that. And our last activity for the day is 7:30 square dancing in the Health Club on the island. That one is currently closed. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Menus for Monday, December 21st. In the Crystal Room, the platter is grilled pork chops with baked sweet potato and Brussels sprouts. For dinner, it's Old Home Cooking Night for $13.95. The soup of the day is vegetarian chili. In the Island Cafe, for lunch, it's a Philly cheesesteak sandwich with onion rings for $7.75. At dinner, it's island-style Italian beef panini with fresh fruit for $8.75. The Palm Grill is closed on Mondays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, I'm Andy Hawkins, the senior pastor of the Village Church, and in this Christmas season and on behalf of the Village Church staff, we would like to share with you this familiar record of the story of the birth of Jesus. It came to pass in those days that a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered. This census took place when Quirinius was governor of Syria, so all went to be registered, everyone to his own city. Joseph also went up from Galilee out of the city of Nazareth into Judea to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be registered with Mary, his betrothed wife, who was with child. So it was that while they were there, the days were completed for her to be delivered, and she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. Now there were in the same country shepherds living out in the fields, keeping watch over their flock by night. And behold, an angel of the Lord stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were greatly afraid. Then the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which will be to all people. For there is born to you this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. And this will be the sign to you. You will find a babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger." And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men." So it was, when the angels had gone away from them into heaven, that the shepherds said to one another, "Let us now go to Bethlehem, and see this thing that has come to pass, which the Lord has made known to us." And they came with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the babe lying in a manger. Now when they had seen him, they made widely known the saying which was told them concerning this child. And all those who heard it marveled at those things which were told them by the shepherds. But Mary kept all these things, and pondered them in her heart. And the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things that they had heard and seen as it was told them. This wonderful story reminds us of how important ordinary people are in God's story. He used a poor carpenter, a teenage girl, and a motley crew of shepherds to usher in the King of Kings. And you too are integral to God's story as it continues to unfold. May God encourage you with rich blessings as the true meaning of Christmas, the incarnation of the Son of God, is on our minds and hearts. And so on behalf of the staff of the Village Church, let me express how much a delight it is to minister in this community. All of us want to wish all of you the merriest of Christmases, and may God richly bless you and those you love this season. Merry Christmas.
Thanks for joining us for today's program. On tomorrow's show, we will observe the first day of winter as though it were spring, and we'll show you a special holiday video focused on Shell Point employees. Until then, this has been Shell Point Today for Monday, December 21st. I'm Dan Philgreen, and on behalf of all of us here at Shell Point TV, we'd like to wish you a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.